Hey guys, so I've been a little terrible with updating lately, but anyway, we'll get to that eventually. I've been going through and editing some of the videos I did with the first and second week checkups with Jordanna, and I realized I hadn't made another like breastfeeding update video and a video about my visit to the lactation consultant. So I figured I'd hop on while her bottle is being warmed up. I figured I'd hop on and talk about that. So I'll start with the lactation consultant appointment. I was able to attend that on the Thursday. So the Thursday, the next week after Jordanna's second week appointment, and then it would be the Thursday. So it was about a week and a day after that appointment. I went and saw a lactation consultant in Ottawa. Her name was Beth. I don't remember her last name, but I'll put a link in the description in case anyone in that area wants a lactation consultant. She's really good. Right away when we went in, I kind of told her a little bit about what was going on and what I had tried and all that stuff. And basically right away she had me lay down and show, like, not lay down, there's a chair thing and I sat in it and she had me show her how I would normally breastfeed. And then she tried a position which was like this laying down breastfeeding position, and it worked like right away. Which was great. In that appointment, it worked. She was drinking. She did kind of foolish. She only drank like an ounce from each side, but I was still also having the decreased milk supply at that point. So there probably really wasn't much in there for her to drink, which really sucked as well, because right after that appointment, which I'll get to in like the other half of this video, right after that appointment, I'm gonna put it on here so I don't have to hold it. Don't mind the messy kitchen. It's been quite a month. But right after that appointment, I increased my milk supply a lot. And so I'll get to that in the second half of this video. But anyway, so with the lactation consultant, basically like you're sitting up and then like the baby like latches on and is like kind of sitting up laying down here. And it's called the laid back position, which I had tried. I guess I just didn't really try it correctly. And I also just don't really think she likes it, because when I got home and we tried it, it didn't really work out so well. So right now, the only time she really breastfeeds is during the night when like I'm lying down in bed with her, because she feeds really well when I'm lying down at nighttime. And it's when like my boobs are like rock hard, then she feeds really well. That's usually overnight. So basically I feel like this has turned into an exclusive pumping journey now. I don't think that I'm going to be able to breastfeed with Jordanna like I wanted to, but at least I have a pump. 6 years old. It still works really well though. So she is going to get breast milk, but I think my breastfeeding wishes are now gone. That's basically the only thing from the lactation appointment. She was like, you know, you can do, she basically, the lactation consultant was like, you know what, I think she might have a tongue tie or a lip tie, and you might want to go get that checked out, because I can't technically diagnose it, but just the way that her mouth was moving and like things like that, she thought perhaps that she would have a tongue tie. So that was basically the two main things that I got out of that appointment. Was a new feeding position that could work really well. She wanted me to feed her 2 ounces in a bottle beforehand and then have her breastfeed that way, because she was drinking like a champ during that appointment. And then I come home and I try it and I just couldn't really get it to work, and I was getting frustrated. I've got 3 other kids running around, so for me, if it wasn't going to click very easily, and with like, obviously I don't mind trying different things, but if it was going to be a huge chore to get her to breastfeed, then I don't mind just pumping, storing my milk, having her drink it in a bottle. I don't care. I wanted to explore the avenues to see if I could just breastfeed her and go from there. Now, when I got home, I booked an appointment with my doctor's office, but again, my doctor's still on medical leave, so I've been seeing nurse practitioners. So I didn't know like if all of them could refer me or what was going on. So I just basically called my doctor's office, said we need to look at potentially diagnosing a tongue tie, and please book me in with somebody who can do that. So it was, I think it was the Tuesday or the Wednesday after that appointment. So it would basically be like almost Jordanna being almost a month old at this point, that we went and saw the nurse, and she was basically like, yeah, I think she either has a mild tongue tie or a lip tie. So right here from like the front of her lip all the way back to where like your lip meets your gums, she's got like a piece of skin that like grew out. It kind of looks like a little rope or something. So it could be a lip tie as well. So that was last Tuesday or Wednesday that happened. So she referred me to somebody in Ottawa, and they have yet to call me, and it's been over a week. Like that was last Wednesday, and this is like a week later, and it's now Friday. So it's been like 9 days or 10 days. I don't really remember when the doctor's appointment was, but it's been a while, and I'm kind of getting frustrated right now. So I think right now, best plan of action for us is going to be not breastfeeding and just pumping and bottle feeding. The breastfeeding's working overnight, so we'll stick to that. Like she does not take a bottle, and she is not hungry in the morning. It's about an hour to an hour and a half after we get downstairs in the morning that she's finally like, hey, like I'd like a bottle or something. So overnight she's getting enough to not wake up crying at all during the night. So and yes, for those of you questioning that, we do, like, I co-sleep with her. So I've looked up so many videos on how to safely co-sleep. I co-slept with Joseph, and like there's no, I don't have any worries with it anyway. I know many of you probably do, but and then with breastfeeding tips, my milk supply, as you'll see in the second, like Jordanna's second week checkup, my milk supply was less than 2 ounces per side, like per boob. Like that was together, both of them poured into one bottle. It was less than 2 ounces. And so I was drinking this tea, which is this, I got it at the grocery store. It was the only thing that I could find to help with like lactation at the grocery store. So I was drinking 3 to 5 cups of that a day. Then I started reading online, and it was like, okay, oats, what was it? Oats, brewer's yeast, ground flaxseed or flaxseed, and wheat germ were all things that I had heard that could help increase your milk supply in food. So I started eating massive, like I started making the oat bars that are on one of my other playlists there. I started making those like crazy. Then I went to the bulk barn and bought brewer's yeast and some wheat germ and some ground flaxseed, and started just throwing those into the bars. And it would be about 5 tablespoons for the single recipe of each is what I was throwing into the recipe. And then I ended up ordering off of Milky Mama Canada, I ended up ordering some herbal supplements, which I think really like helped hit home and increase my milk supply. And I'll show you those. Give me one sec. So I started with this one, which, so it's Milky Mama, it's Lady Leche, and I'll read off the ingredients another time. Oh, here. Milk thistle seed, stinging nettle leaf, black seed, and fennel seed. And on their website, it shows you when you click on the bottle what each ingredient does for you, which is like increase milk supply, help with your letdown, enrich your milk, all this stuff. And then the other one that I just got yesterday, so I just started taking in combination, is called Dairy Duchess from Milky Mama. And like this alone, the Lady Leche alone increased my milk supply so much. This is a huge mason jar. I don't exactly know. Oh, 906 milliliters. And that was from one pump, one session. I usually fill one of these every single day, and that's only pumping 3 times a day. So that I highly recommend these herbal supplements if you are having issues with a decreased milk supply. The other thing I did when I came home from that doctor's appointment, at her 2-week appointment, I started pumping every 2 hours until bedtime, and then I would pump once during the night. But the one during the night, I would do what's called like a super session pump thing, which is where you pump for 20 minutes, stop for 10, pump for 10 minutes, stop for 10, pump for 10 minutes. And it kind of simulates a child that just wants more milk, more milk, more milk. So I found a week later, maybe like 4 days later, after I got home and I started with the oats and the tea and the pumping, I found that my milk supply went up to about 1 to 2 ounces per boob every time I'd pump after about 3 to 4 days. And then after this came in, I was easily filling 5-ounce bottles on my right side and like maybe 4 ounces on the left, which is kind of where I've like teetered off. I'm sure if I pumped more, I could probably get more, but like right now, this is more than enough to feed her. I have a stash in the freezer of some frozen milk, and then I have 2 mason jars because she goes through about one of these a day. So I'm a day ahead. This was yesterday's milk, and then I've got today, or sorry, the other one in the fridge was yesterday's that I go through today, and then I'll fill one for tomorrow, and we've been going like that. I've got maybe like 10 or 15 frozen in the fridge in case Josh and I ever want like a date night or anything like that, or if he's watching Jordanna and needs to thaw one out, he can. But yeah, so that was a huge change from getting about 1/2 ounce per breast to like when I wake up in the morning, I can pump 8 ounces out per side throughout the day. If I wait 2 to 3 hours between pumping, I'll get about like 4 to 5 ounces. And then I usually pump up until like bedtime. So at bedtime, I'll give her a bottle. And then after she falls asleep, I'll pump. And then when she wakes up during the night, I just pull her into bed with me. We go back to sleep, and I don't hear from her again until, well, it's usually I'm waking up first. We go downstairs an hour and a half after she wants a bottle. So like, it's not like she's ravenously hungry whenever she wakes up. So there's something about the lying down position that she likes, but I can't lie down and feed her during the day with 3 boys running around, 2 of which are doing virtual schooling. So yes, the lactation consultation was worth the money. I'm just kind of disappointed that I wasn't able to get like a couple more tips or tricks or anything like that. Obviously the tongue tie, not diagnosis, because she didn't diagnose it, she just said look into it. So that was obviously a huge key, because if they have a tongue tie or a lip tie or anything like that, like a high palate, there's like 9 things that your baby could have that could stop them from successfully breastfeeding. It's more so ticked me off that this place in Ottawa, who my doctor's office referred me to, they have not called, and it's been 10 days. And so today I'm going to call the doctor's office and just make sure they sent the referral, because like, you know, they say that with a tongue tie, if they need to snip the little piece of skin underneath their tongue, they would rather do that as close to them being a newborn as possible. And she's now over a month old. So I don't know if they're just like triaging everybody and taking in all the newborns ahead of her, because they're like, oh, well, she's already a month old. So like this procedure is already going to be intense now anyway. So she might as well wait. I don't know, but I'm kind of ticked off about that. And now with the whole tongue tie thing going on, I actually think that Jonathan, who's our second, might have a tongue tie as well, because he can't even open his mouth and then lift his tongue to the roof of his mouth, and he was formula fed, so we wouldn't have really known to look for a tongue tie. So that's also something we're going to start looking into, because he can't say a lot of letters properly, especially the ones that like your tongue has to go to the roof of your mouth or the back of your teeth or anything. He can't say those words properly. So obviously we're going to go through with Jordanna getting looked at with the tongue tie, because later on in life, We want her to be able to speak properly, because even I now am having issues trying to understand what Jonathan's trying to say to me, and I don't want her to have to go through that. So that's basically the update for the lactation consultation and how my breastfeeding journey is going. I was just watching the video and editing the video of like me having issues with it, and that was a really, really, really hard time and a really tough pill to swallow, because basically at that appointment that I had went to at the 2 weeks, I basically, like, I kept saying I'm not going to starve my baby, yet inadvertently I starved my baby. And that's why I was such a mess that day, is because like the realization of like, cool, I've been trying to feed this child for a week thinking it's going well, and that she's just maybe going through a growth spurt or something and just really wants a lot of milk. And coming to the realization that, oh no, you were basically like starving your child. She lost like 10 ounces from 1 week to the next. So, but then the following week we went for our 3rd week checkup, and she was up over 8 pounds. So they have no issues there. There are no concerns. Like now our next appointment's at her 2 months for the vaccinations. But it really upset me. And I also said in that video, and I just want to make a clarification of like, I didn't want to drag 4 kids to the grocery store just to go get formula. Obviously, as a mom, I am going to do whatever I can to help my kids. And if that means dragging 4 kids to the grocery store to go get formula, I would. It was that right before I made that video, Josh called me and said, hey, my friend's on the way and he's going to do a porch drop off with the formula so you don't have to go out, because he had already seen how much I was crying that morning. And he knew like I have not gone anywhere with the 4 kids at that point to go anywhere. So it was like super overwhelming thought. Plus I was like just so emotionally distraught and distressed. He was like, no, stay home. My friend's on the way. We're 10 minutes from town. So he's going to be like 20 minutes and you'll have formula there. And I think we've only used maybe half the thing of formula, because like I said, about 4 to 5 days later, my milk supply increased so much. So we did supplement with formula while my milk supply was down, obviously, because like I said, I'm not going to starve my child on purpose. It's just, yeah, at that video, I just came to the realization like, cool, I was starving my child, and it really hurt my heart a lot. So anyway, basically at the end of like my conclusion to this video, if you're having issues with breastfeeding, please go seek help. Like, don't try and figure it out on your own, because I think a small percentage of people would figure it out on their own. I think it was just luck that Joseph and I figured it out on our own. But even then, I had ordered a textbook on breastfeeding from Amazon to figure that out. And like, his wasn't a tongue tie or anything like that. I just think it was like a positional thing and we just figured it out. But if you're having issues, go seek help. Get a lactation consultation. Let someone help you. And if your milk supply is down, honestly, the huge thing that I would recommend are these Milky Mama products. I've only tried the herbal supplements, and I've only tried Lady Leche and Dairy Duchess. But this Lady Leche one is the one that has like the most benefits. Like there's like a table that you can look at and it's like, these are all the benefits this one gives you. And this is the only one that offers the most. I think it just doesn't like give you energy and maybe boost your immune system. And I was like, I don't really care. I take vitamins anyway. This was like, you know, improves your letdown, increases milk supply, enriches your breast milk, blah, blah, blah. I think there's like 7 benefits. So I tried this and it worked amazing, because 2 to 3 days after trying this and starting it, and I take like I do the 2 full droppers is 1 dose of it, and I take 2 full in the morning, 2 full at night, and 2 days later is when my milk supply just went right through the roof. It was amazing. So if you're having issues, I do highly recommend the Milky Mama products. But anyway, the bottle's done warming up, so I've got to go feed her. So have a good day, guys. So I just wanted to update the video that I was making about breastfeeding and whatnot, and show you guys. I just finished pumping, and I believe this is the 3rd time I've pumped today. The pump that I'm using is the Medela Freestyle pump, but this is the one from like 6 years ago. I bought it when I was pregnant with Jonathan. So, and he was born in 2015. So the Freestyle now has like Bluetooth and all that, which is super cool, and it's super tempting to update mine, but mine does not. It's not dead yet, so I'm obviously not going to buy a new one. But I've already pumped 3 times today, and that is how much I've got, which is over 9 ounces altogether. So like I said, that Milky Mama stuff, I honestly, I'm almost going to chalk up most of the increase in my milk supply to that herbal supplement, because like I said, the stuff that I tried on my own with like the oats and like the tea, which had fenugreek in it, which I did notice the fenugreek in the tea did give me stomach cramps. So because I haven't had it lately and I haven't had those weird stomach cramps, but I did oat bars with brewer's yeast in it and ground flaxseed and wheat germ and all that stuff, and pumping every 2 to 3 hours did increase my milk supply a bit. Like I said, it went up to I think it was about 2 ounces per side, but this herbal supplement just took it to the next level and has brought it up to like I said, this is the 3rd time, I believe the 3rd time I pumped today, and 2nd or 3rd, but I'm getting 9 ounces out of it. So it's pretty amazing to me anyway. I'm sure with every 2 hours getting 2 per side, I'm going to get a lot as well. But trust me, you don't have time for that if you have a lot of children. And actually the reason I stopped pumping with Jonathan, I think I pumped for like 2 or 3 months, and then stopped and we switched to formula, was because it was so time consuming that I didn't feel like I could continue. But anyway, I just wanted to update you guys on how much this herbal supplement actually works really well. So, and no, I'm not paid for it or anything like that. I happened upon it on, I think it was a Google search, or it showed up in my Facebook, because, you know, with the whole Facebook algorithm, whatever you're Googling or searching up on the internet ends up coming up on ads on your Facebook. And I happened upon it, and it was actually one of the things in an earlier video that I was like, oh, it's so expensive to get like cookies and blah, 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 blah. Well, that's the company that I was talking about, because they do have cookies and brownies and stuff like that. I just found it to be kind of expensive. And so that's when I went and searched up like what ingredients in these cookies helps with your milk supply increase. And that's when it talked about the brewer's yeast was the main one. So I just started making the goodies on my own, but these herbal supplements, when I was reading the reviews and stuff like that, not just the reviews on their website, but third-party reviews on it, I was like, you know what? I think it's $38 for it. Might as well try it, because like it's either that or I'm buying formula, because my milk supply is going to stay at like 2 ounces, and that's not going to feed Jordanna as she gets older. So either give it a shot and try it out, or you might as well just start buying formula now, and that is cheaper than a can of formula right now, because a can of formula, well, it's not a can, it's like a container. This, I've always bought Similac, because it's always, like, my kids have always tolerated it well, but that is $45 Canadian. I don't know what that is US or wherever you live, but $45 for that. And I used it for, I think it was like 4 or 5 days until my milk supply really came in. And I've used between 1/3 and half of that container. So yeah, I would rather spend the $38 trying an herbal supplement to increase my milk supply versus having to buy one of these every month for now. But I remember a time when Josh and I were buying them like every 2 weeks as the babies get older. So, but anyway, yeah, 9 ounces on this pump. So really impressed with the Milky Mama herbal supplements, and I highly suggest them. They're just like herbs, so there's no additives. I think there might be flavoring in it, I don't know, but the two that I got, the Dairy Duchess and Lady Leche, they really don't taste bad. Like they don't taste good and yummy, but they don't taste horrible where you're like, bleh. Like one I think has, I don't even know, I can't even describe the flavors. They have the flavors online. I don't find that they're like accurate flavors, but they don't taste bad. They taste decently good. So anyway, that's my update.